If you thought the White House had its fair share of unusual couples, meet Stephen and Katie Miller. Stephen, the U.S. Homeland Security Advisor, and Katie, his wife, have made it clear they don't shy away from the weird side of their relationship. And trust me, there's a lot to unpack. The Millers tied the knot at the Trump International Hotel in Washington, D.C. back in February 2020. Yep, Donald Trump was basically a guest star in their love story from day one. So much so that when they celebrated their first wedding anniversary, both Stephen and Katie couldn't resist putting Trump front and center on their social media. Stephen posted a photo where the president was in focus, and he and Katie were blurred in the background. Katie, meanwhile, shared a shot of the flower girl hugging Trump's legs. Their wedding was big, with about 250 guests, high-profile political figures, and even an Elvis impersonator. But here's the twist. Katie didn't want a giant affair at all.
I didn't want a big wedding. I wanted the courthouse.
Stephen, on the other hand, had full Bridezilla energy, and Katie ended up planning the whole thing.
I planned a wedding in 3 months.
You did?
I did. 250
Why?
people.
Somehow she pulled it off. And yes, Trump gave a speech and lingered for over 2 hours, per reports. After the whirlwind of their wedding, the Millers settled into a quieter life in Arlington, Virginia.
You are married to Stephen Miller,
I am.
so you are the envy of all women. What is that like?
The sexual matador, right?
According to Vanity Fair, they keep to themselves, have few friends outside Trump's administration, and avoid going out much due to public scrutiny. They're raising 3 kids and living in what seems like a very insular world. And if you're curious about what life is like inside the Miller household, prepare yourself. Katie spilled the beans about their morning routine. While most couples start the day with something sweet like, "Good morning, love," Katie gets her energy boost from her husband talking about his boss.
He is an incredibly inspiring man who gets me going in the morning with his speeches being like, let's start the day. I am going to defeat the left and we are going to win. He wakes up the day ready to carry out the mission that President Trump was elected to do.
Because nothing says romance quite like a morning pep talk about your boss. And speaking of Trump devotion, Stephen has his own advice for anyone trying to impress. The best thing you can do is wear your Trump support on your sleeve. Show that you are a real man.
I promise you that.
Clearly in the Miller household, politics and romance go hand in hand, though maybe that's exactly what worked on Katie, given that she's deeply involved in politics herself. Her rise has been fast and focused. After graduating from the University of Florida in 2014, she quickly climbed the ladder, working as a press assistant for the National Republican Senatorial Committee, later becoming press secretary for Mike Pence, among other roles. She even earned a master's in public administration from George Washington University. People who knew her in college describe her as highly ambitious, always driven, and unapologetically focused on power. And yes, the Millers' views have sparked controversy, especially on immigration. Katie has defended policies like Trump's zero-tolerance approach and the use of tear gas on migrants at the border. She even visited border facilities to see family separations firsthand. And reportedly, the experience didn't make her more compassionate.
All I would say to that is this administration is going to pursue immigration enforcement and cooperation in every city. And anyone who doesn't comply with the laws and dictates of this country will face the appropriate legal consequences.
So yeah, Stephen and Katie Miller are a couple unlike any other. Part political power duo, part devoted followers of their boss, and part straight-up unusual domestic life. And speaking of political power duos from the Trump administration, let's take a look at Marco Rubio and his wife, Janette Rubio.
My most important job is a husband and a father, and I want to do that job as well as I can.
Janette, now 51, was raised in Miami by Colombian immigrant parents. Marco, whose parents came from Cuba, met her when he was 19, and she was just 17 at the West Miami Recreation Center. Yep, high school sweethearts in the making.
I was 19 and she was 17.
So did you know right away?
I did. I'm not sure she did.
After 7 years together, their relationship had grown, and Marco was ready to pop the question. At the top of the Empire State Building, no less. A scene straight out of a rom-com.
New York City has a special meaning for you.
Yeah.
Because
I got engaged here.
Yeah.
Why that spot? Because Janette loved Sleepless in Seattle. He proposed on Valentine's Day. Now that's setting the bar high. He tried to incorporate something I liked, Janette once said.
So I got her up there, I proposed, and then I was afraid, I don't know why, it was this thing, thought she was gonna drop the ring off the side, so I grabbed the ring back, and then I gave it back to her when we got to the bottom.
Janette and Marco tied the knot in 1998 in Coral Gables, Florida, and have been building their life together ever since. Now, Janette isn't your typical political spouse. Sure, she used to be a cheerleader for the Miami Dolphins, but let's not stereotype. That chapter only lasted a year, and it wasn't her dream job. She wasn't that cheerleader type, said Janette's former teammate. She was more introverted than 95% of the team. And while Marco's political career kept accelerating, from local office to the state legislature to the Senate, Janette made it clear she wasn't chasing the spotlight. She preferred a life of stability and faith, focused on raising their 4 kids: Amanda, Daniela, Anthony, and Dominic.
It's amazing because I see so much of Marco in all of my kids. Daniela's passion, Amanda's very deep, loves to read books, and Anthony is the same way, and Dominic is just very charismatic, and I see so much of them in Marco.
Let's talk about that balancing act. Janette has always tried to protect family time. When Marco was serving in the Florida legislature, she would regularly travel up to Tallahassee with their kids. Friends saw it as her way of keeping family front and center in a world of late-night political deal-making. Even during his Senate campaign in 2010, Janette made it clear to the team, if he could be home at night, he should be.
You know, I think the absence away from home is tough on us.
So, what does Janette do now? Mostly, she's focused on family. She attends Bible study, posts heartwarming family moments on Instagram, and keeps politics at arm's length. But that doesn't mean Janette hasn't influenced her husband's views. Far from it.
You know, it is what it is.
Mrs. Rubio is deeply committed to faith and family values. Over time, those values have shaped Marco's political stances, especially on issues like abortion. Friends say her convictions helped deepen his own. She even took him to a shelter for victims of child SA, which played a role in his decision to co-sponsor legislation to protect them.
I'm just so proud of him and just what he's been able to accomplish.
Janette has also been active in community work, especially around human trafficking. She serves on Florida's statewide Council on Human Trafficking and is involved with Christie's House, a local organization supporting children who've survived abuse and trafficking. Earlier in her career, Janette worked for billionaire Norman Brahman, helping identify philanthropic causes. And no, she's not just sitting on the sidelines. When Marco's political team hit rough waters, some staffers even turned to Janette to help steer the ship. She became a quiet, yet powerful force behind the scenes, a gatekeeper and moral compass.
Marco, when he dives into something, when he wants to know about an issue, he's gonna know everything about it.
But don't expect to see Mrs. Rubio giving campaign speeches or chasing media attention. She's made her position clear. I'm not pushing myself out there. I need to be with the kids just to give them that balance, she told Politico. And that's pretty much been her approach from the start.
We are very blessed. Family's a gift. God has given us such a gift. I cannot be more thankful.
So what's the secret to their relationship? According to Marco, it's not just about feelings, it's about commitment. Love isn't just a feeling, he once said. It actually requires you to act on it. It's a sacrificial love. The kind of love that keeps you showing up, even when political life pulls you in every direction.